Oh, did you know that there's an e-beggar named DeflectionSydePhil? Oh, so embarrassed. He's in his 40s and he e-begs. Sweet. Every day, a little bit, tweaking a little more, tender. I've walked on my toes my whole life. Like that. Because my muscles were already big down there. Flavorful. It's still an answer. It doesn't matter if it's honesty or not. It's still an answer. I am going to ask for contributions, and you're going to like it. Sasquatch. Afterbirth. Back to normal after last week was a shorter week because of some personal stuff going on, which we're going to talk about. You know, that definitely had to do with my double days off because of the arrival of my weight machine. And I'm definitely sure, absolutely sure, that you guys are going to want to know all about it. Because you're always up in my business, right?
Are you going to tell us everything that happened this week? No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's my life, and I have a right to privacy. I have a right to have a private life. But just because I share a public face to you every day on a stream where I make content and we play games and we hang out, does not mean that I also owe you an explanation for everything else that goes on in my private life. I can wholeheartedly tell you that what I've been dealing with over the last week has nothing to do with this stream, has nothing to do with my content, has nothing to do with this business, has nothing to do with our interactions, nothing. Zero. Therefore, I don't have to tell you anything, nor should I be expected to, nor should there be a demand for that. I have a right to have my own life. All right?
So I guess that means you're not sharing your personal shit with people behind the scenes either, right?
Whoops.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that you seek counseling soon. Because if you actually think that because someone on the internet streams, that they owe you full transparency of everything that they ever have done, you are actually mentally deficient from being a normal human, and you need to go speak to a professional for help right now. And I'm speaking directly to my detractors right now. You're all mentally fucking deficient, and you do need to seek help.
Well, maybe that's true, but I don't know if any detractors ever done this.
And they think they have something on me. They're insane. How they didn't know.
They do.
How they didn't know that everything I was saying was fake, I don't know. Because, I mean, I'll give you some examples here. I said my wife was sick and she had found God. And now because of that, I can't do this idea that you came up with. And they bought it. And I said, oh, my rabbit is sick, so I can't do the show today. My mom is sick, so I have to fly. I keep saying sick, like every excuse was someone's sick. Yet they bought it every time. Every fucking time.
Or you were just nervous to go do it, so you canceled on it.
But the point I'm making here is I basically manipulated them as much as I could to make them do what I wanted. I got what I wanted. And then when I knew they were going to eventually turn on me, because we all knew that from the get-go, right? We knew they were going to turn.
That's kind of just gross, too, Phil. You would say that your family members were sick to get out of doing things with them?
Oh,
to
it's
get
not
a one-up on them?
No. It's not to get out of doing things with them. It's to basically have a way to make them believe that everything I'm saying is true. For a second. Our first flex of the week. Yeah, frog. Let's talk about it.
Come on then, dickhead. Why don't you tell us all about it?
On Thursday, I premiered Pokemon cards on my stream. And the reason that we're doing this is because I've been playing Pokemon games now consistently for over 6 months, and the playthroughs are doing so well, and Pokemon cards currently are all the rage, right? Everyone loves them. They're basically very highly valuable collectibles, and it's become a prominent thing to kind of do pack rippings or unpackings, openings, whatever you want to call them, on streams. And I said, you know, we could do it. I mean, I'd have to find a reliable place to get Pokemon cards from, because you basically got to get them on the resellers market. You can't find them at a store. They're just not available. But I'd be down to start doing unpackings as part of the content. And I even said, no one has to pay to do it. We're going to do it naturally. Whenever I do a Pokemon stream, we'll do a card unpacking. And if we do something special, like, for example, this week, we're going to start playing the trading card games store sim. And since we're going to do that, why not open a pack as well for that, right? Makes sense. Now, I said, hey, if people want more packs opened, I'm willing to do it. If someone does a $50 contribution, whether it's 10 subs like Detractors Are Jealous just dropped, whether it's a $50 super chat, whether it's, I guess it would be 17 memberships on YouTube because they're about $3 each, all right? Or whether it's a $50 tip, whatever it may be, if you do a $50 contribution, you say, hey, Phil, yeah, I'd like you to do another unpacking, I will do one, all right? Now, I want you to understand that I really don't know much about this practice, this community, and I'm not doing it as a business venture. Okay, I'm not selling cards on stream. I have no plans to resell cards or anything like that. I'm not a Pokemon card creator. Okay, I have no intention on doing a whole show based around cards or card unpackings or anything like that. I want to make that abundantly clear. I'm just doing this as a way to kind of supplement my existing content because I thought it would be something neat to do and something creative and different, okay? And so, that being said, when we were talking about this on Thursday's podcast, we were trying to brainstorm how should we do it, and we came to the decision $50 contributions is an extra pack, but I will just open packs naturally during my content, okay? It went well. Immediately, we had 2 different people who did $50 tips, so we ended up opening 3 packs of this during my first podcast of having them back on Thursday. I thought the segment was fun and funny because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even understand, like, what are good cards or whatever. Now I know it's the art cards, which is supposed to be like the full card is a piece of artwork. Those are the valuable ones. And I did get one of those, but sadly, it was like the elixir. So it was like a very low value one. Okay, but now I know kind of what I'm looking for as I open the packs. But I had no clue. I was completely ignorant, right? So I do it. Now, here's the thing. I'm doing it for 2 reasons. The first reason I'm doing it is that I do think it adds an additional level of interest in my content. People will be interested to see, hey, did Phil get anything today or whatever? That's kind of cool. But on the flip side of it, I did it because I know that there is a insanely obsessed community of people on the internet based around this as a hobby. And I knew that it was going to basically get people talking, and it did. Because I'm not kidding. Apparently, over the last 2 to 3 days when I've been gone, okay, people on the internet have been talking about DSP is opening packs and, oh my God, he's a greedy, grifting scammer because he's charging people to open packs on stream and he doesn't even give them the cards and this and that, to which I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm not a Pokemon card streamer. I didn't start a new channel called DS Unpacking, where now every day all I'm going to be doing is unpacking cards and I'm going to be making video content around it. That's not the point. The point is I'll be doing this as additional pieces of content of already existing stuff, okay? And I think it's cool as something new to do. I mean, I did it with the WWE cards last year. And by the way, when I did it with the WWE cards, nobody cared. There was no complaints. But now because it's Pokemon cards, apparently now I'm doing it wrong because it's Pokemon cards. How dare I do it with Pokemon cards because there's a big community around this. For what I'm going to understand, people are like, oh, there's other people, and the content they actually put on the internet is that they sit there and they'll say, oh, I bought a box of cards, and this is a box unboxing stream. All I'm going to do is unbox cards this stream. And they'll go through the entire box in one sitting. It takes hours sometimes to go through, but people will give them contributions during the stream so it pays for itself. Okay, I never had any intention of doing that, nor is that this channel, right? Does this look like a Pokemon unboxing channel? No. Apparently, there's other streams that people do where people will be like, oh, I want to give you $50, and for $50, you'll undo a pack of cards, and then you'll, like, give them to the person. You'll mail them to the person who gave you the $50. Well, I'm not selling Pokemon cards.
He's just charging for them. Get it?
I never said I was going to sell Pokemon cards. And it's just hilarious to me, because anytime that I do something, people try to compare it to what everyone else already does. I don't care what everyone else already does. I don't give a fuck what any other community does or what they think that the criteria are. That's not what I'm doing. This is supplemental to a gameplay stream or a podcast. It's just an extra thing I'm doing. It doesn't mean that I have to sell cards, open entire boxes, or do it in any way that anyone else does it. Tough shit. I'll do what I want because I'm DSP. And I've been here longer than everybody else, and I'll be here longer than anyone else that does this shit. I do things in a different way because I march to the beat of my own drum, and either you like it or you fuck off. It's that simple. I don't give a shit about your criticism. Your criticism's invalid because you're an idiot. No one cares about your fucking opinions around here, okay? I don't care if there's a community of card openers who are mad at me. You can kiss my hairy ass because I'm going to do this however I want because I bought the box of cards. It's in my hand, not yours, and I could do with it whatever I want. I could light this box on fire live and destroy all the cards inside. That would just ruin all the value of what could be an ultra rare card. I could give the cards away. I could keep them for myself. I could wipe my ass with them. And it's none of your fucking business. So kiss my fucking ass, and I will do with these as I so choose. And you'll like it because I'm DSP and I am the king.
You're king.
My days off, okay? What was I up to? All right, and how did things go? So the reason that I had 2 days off the last couple of days was because I had an exercise machine that was arriving. I needed to not only be here to receive it, get it in the house, but I also needed to get it upstairs to where I was going to build it and set it up for use. That was going to take a tremendous amount of time and effort. There was no way I was going to be able to do that on a day when I was streaming, okay? But in addition to that, I had my usual stuff that I needed to do, my errands and stuff. And so I took an extra day off this week in order to have the time to do it. So how did it all go? Okay. Well, the machine arrived at 8 a.m. I was told that I had a window between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. that it was going to arrive. And I was like, oh, it's a 4-hour window. So I got up early. I literally just had gotten out of the shower and I received a text message saying that they were going to be there in like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, well, I guess let's get it over with then, right? Let's get it here early. So it actually showed up really early, and I was like, oh, okay. And the guy basically rolled it up, and it was multiple boxes. It was 3 boxes. Okay, first there was this really giant long box that basically had all the steel and the components to build the frame. And then there was 2 other boxes that were small, but they were insanely heavy because they contained all of the stack weights that were for the gym, the weight set. So he basically rolls this up and it's on this big pallet wrapped in plastic. So he starts breaking it down in front of my house. I'm like, all right, cool, let's get it in. And we each grabbed a box of the weights, which were super heavy. Each box was like 75 pounds each. We just got them in the front hallway because damn, they were heavy. And then the other box was probably around 200 pounds, I think, but we were able to get it in together. We each grabbed an end and got it into the hallway. And so he's like, oh, so can you get, you can throw out all this trash, right? Because all the plastic and everything was in front of the house. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll throw that out. No big deal. And so he drove away. And I'm like, all right, so now I got to figure out how am I going to get all this stuff upstairs? Because it's actually, the exercise machine is in my bedroom in the storage nook that I used to call it, the nook. It was basically, it could be used as an exercise room. It could be used as an office. So we're going to turn it into an exercise room. Okay. So I'm like, all right, so how are we going to get it up there? And I'm trying to figure out, I think the best way to do it is to break down the boxes themselves and just individually take the things upstairs. There's no way I'm going to get 75-pound boxes upstairs. There's no way that I'm going to get this 200-pound box upstairs. I just got to break all the components, individually. So I'm about to start breaking the boxes open and do that. And I look out front. I said, what the hell is that in front of my house? Okay. There is a giant wooden pallet just sitting in front of my front steps. And I'm staring at it like, was that not part of the shipping that the guy brought it in? Like, why did he leave it? It's huge, by the way. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So I called the shipping company. I said, your guy left this giant wooden pallet in front of my house. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? It's not mine. And so they called around and they called me back and were like, actually, so weird thing. I guess the company that you bought the weight machine from the way that they store their weight machines is they just have a wooden pallet and they like wrap the machine boxes to it. And technically when they deliver it to your house, you now own that wooden pallet. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think I was going to own a wooden pallet. Luckily for me, it was way lighter than it looked. I thought it was going to be heavy as shit. It actually was pretty light. So I put on my work gloves. I have gloves that I wear when I do heavy work so I don't hurt my hands.
You got soft hands, buddy boy.
And I picked it up so I didn't get splinters. And I brought it, I basically leaned it against the wall of my garage. Like, well, I guess I have a pallet. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this. Pallet, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this. Pallet, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this. You know, I have no use for this whatsoever. Maybe someday I'll have a use for a pallet or whatever. All right. So I was going to basically figure this out. Like, how am I going to get all this shit upstairs? So I at first said, you know what? I'm going to do my best to try to get this 75+ pound box upstairs. And so I tried to lift it because it has those plastic straps on it. And I did get it up one step, and immediately the plastic started to break. And I'm like, that's not going to do it. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. And so I basically lifted the box stair by stair. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, my God, it was an ordeal. Because listen, am I lifting and working out? Yes, I am. Am I lifting and working out, 75-pound narrow boxes and walking up entire flights of stairs? No. Now, hopefully, eventually, I will be able to do it easily because that's the whole point of me getting the weight machine, is to buff up and increase my strength and be able to do this, right? So, yeah. So I did get it up the stairs, and by the time that I got it up the stairs, I was like, oh my God, that hurt. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now I was like, I'm not doing the second box right now. There's no way I'm doing that. So my wife and I broke up the big box that had all the parts of the machine in it. And we just basically together were walking up all the parts because there's a ton of parts. This thing is like 1 million pieces. And it's all steel. I bought a good one. I didn't buy some piece of junk. I bought a full steel cage weight machine, very high rated. Can do a ton of exercises, up to 200 pounds of weight. Says I thought it was only 150 pounds, but I'm not factoring in my head. The exercises also move the cage. So as you're moving it, you're also moving the metal along with the weight plates. So actually, this one can do up to 200 pounds of bench press. And depending on the exercise you're doing, it's various. I think that the least amount is 150, but you can go up to 200 depending on the exercise. I was like, well, that's good. So we got all the pieces up. And I also, being smart, I was like, I don't want this to just sit on my floor. So I bought the best level weight mat you could basically get. So what it is this thick reinforced foam. And then on top, it's got a rubber coating. And it comes in these squares, and you build a mat out of it. And so that's what you put the weight machine on, rather than just putting it direct on your floor and now having it damage your floor and everything. And this also insulates from noise and things like that. So built that first, then I started taking the pieces slowly, into the new workout room and building this thing. So I thought, oh, this is good. I got one of the boxes of weights up the stair. I'm not going to need those weights till the end. I needed those weight plates on like step 4 out of like 22. So I had to go get the weight plates and lug them up the stairs again. Like, oh my God. So I got the weight plates up, and then I finally started building this thing, and it needed, it came with the Allen wrench. It didn't come with the other wrenches you needed because you needed 2 adjustable wrenches to build this thing because it has heavy nuts, and you need to basically have times when there's a bolt and you have to like tighten a nut on both sides. So you need 2 adjustable wrenches to do it. Luckily, I did have multiple wrenches to do this. Because previously it didn't explain what tools you actually needed to build this thing. The good news is I have everything. Like I have every kind of screwdriver, wrench, whatever you need. So I knew that I was going to be good. So it took about, I would say, 4.5 hours.
There's no fucking way. We've seen this guy struggle with the boom arms, with the soundproofing panels. The only way it got done in one day is if he paid somebody else to do it.
But I got to bring it up. I mean, how can I not bring this up? Okay. So for those of you who aren't aware, Low tier god. LTG is not having a very good time right now. His life could be a little better. I mean, he's already going through a lot of bad shit. For example, he apparently tried to have a DNA test taken to prove that his daughter wasn't really his daughter so that he wouldn't have to pay child support. But then even though he's the one who initiated this, he decided to pull out at the last minute. I can make a joke right there because that's something that he didn't do. Excuse me. No. Anyway, he decided not to take the test at the last minute, which made the court rule against him. And they ended up increasing the amount of money that he now owes to his baby mama, which he hasn't been paying, and he owes back pay for it. Okay. So all this just happened in the last month to 2 months, and things are already getting bad for him in this regard. Okay. But then on top of that, there is this 8 million sub YouTuber. I guess his name is Jirian. And the way that I'm going to understand it, this guy actually started off on TikTok making videos exposing child predators. He actually was making videos about that guy EDP and shit like that. And apparently he blew up on TikTok making those kind of videos. And then he opened YouTube channels and the YouTube channels blew up. So this guy is a huge sub YouTuber because of this. So I guess he already had known about LTG from years ago, but he didn't know the extent of the rabbit hole and how deep it went. He just thought, much like me, he just thought, oh, this is just some asshole who's very braggadocious, very narcissistic. He plays fighting games and then he rage quits them and shit like that. And he thought that was the extent of it. He didn't know anything about LTG's past, about how we watched it together, that Tarnished Pennies clip, where he's saying, oh, you should find a woman who's underage and groom her for years. And then finally, when she's of age, then she should be your woman. It's what? What on earth are you saying publicly in videos? What kind of content did this guy put out? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely insane. So anyway, he now finally has gotten wind of all of this going on and has been doing every day. He's been doing new streams on LTG. And so an audience of millions are now being exposed to LTG in a way that he's never been exposed before. Like I said, most of the internet just thought that he was just some kind of a big-headed asshole who said stupid shit, about video games and stuff like that. No one knew the extent of the crazy shit that this guy has said and done over the years, and the fact that he basically is mistreating women. He has a kid that he ignores. He freaking has said these horrible things about basically grooming and pedophilia and stuff. Crazy shit. Okay, so he's been just absolutely being destroyed by this Jirian guy for days and days. And apparently yesterday on stream, Jirian said, I wonder if LTG, how his income works. Because how is it that he has these thousands of subs and everything on his stream? Does anyone believe that it's real? Does anyone believe that his streams actually have thousands of viewers like it says they do? And basically, he had a former mod come on and was talking. It's I don't have any evidence, but it always seemed weird that he would have 1,000 people on his stream, but no one talking in chat. Well, guys, if you're not aware, I already exposed LTG for all of this during my King's Court stream back in April. I already proved 100% that the guy is faking all of his income because one of his whales came to my stream and dropped a bunch of subs. And then after the fact, a few days later, I found out that the subs were nearly worthless because this guy's in one of these countries where basically the sub is worth way less than it would be if he was American. People who do this for him to try to blow him up and look rich, when in reality, he ain't. In reality, he doesn't make nearly as much as I do. And I know this for a fact because I've taken a look at his metrics, and I know for a fact that he's not making residual income like I do. He doesn't even make the stream income like I do. And all his subs are basically devalued or fake. Plus, he's spending money likely botting himself or having other people bot him to make it look like he's popular when he's not. He's a phony. So anyway, I tweeted Jirian last night, and I said, hey, if you want to talk about this, we could talk about it. I don't know if he would want to talk about it on stream or if he just wants to have a private conversation about how he operates, because I have evidence of stuff. That's up to him. But if he's really interested in it, I mean, this guy has been one of the biggest phonies ever on the internet for many, many years. And now finally the crap is hitting the fan. It's just like I've said over the last several years. Why is it that these people have flown under the radar for so long, but everyone A-logs me, right? Guys like Review Tech USA. All right, guys, let's be honest, like the quartering. Basically, I can help the guy out, I mean, with some information, but that's up to him. If he has no interest in it, it's fine. I get it, because I'm a lolcow on the internet, and so he probably doesn't want to talk to me about it because probably it'll bring him negative attention or whatever to be talking with someone like me, and that's fine. But the truth is, I actually have all the information because I was already researching this for April, and I already figured the whole thing out, and I already talked about it on a stream and exposed the dude, and then he unblocked me from Twitter to say that I was gay for him, and then he reblocked me. Not Gideon, but LTG did that, okay? So anyway, it's up to him if he wants to contact me or not. He can DM me on X, or he can send me an email or whatever. Okay. But anyway, LTG is not having a good time right now. He is hard up. He is in a lot of pain, and deservedly so, because the guy is a vile human, and he parades around the internet like he's not involved with all these horrible things. He hasn't said these horrible things. He said far worse things than I've ever said, that's for sure. And it's just terrible that he just gets away with it, and people just want to put their fingers in their ears like this and go, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, dude, it's right there. You could play the clip of what he said about tarnished pennies and Drake and this story he told about some girl. Well, I guess it was like on Facebook or whatever. He met her when she was 14, and he talked to her until she was 18, and then he slept with her. Like, dude, that's grooming. That's like the definition of grooming. You can't even explain it better than that. That's actually what grooming is. And you did it. And you openly, publicly admitted to it. Like, what the hell? Why should you have an internet presence? Because this is the problem, is people see that shit, and they'll be like, oh, well, look, this guy has 5,000 subs, and he's a successful streamer with all this prominence, and he makes all this money, he lives in a house for himself. No one should be following his example. No one. No one should be a horrible person to women on the internet and then get away with it and become prominent and rich. He shouldn't. I mean, quite frankly, the guy is a lowlife, and he shouldn't be having any level of success for what he's done. It's fucked up. So he's finally getting exposed, and it is what it is. I guess we'll see, but that's what's going on right now. And then Cy Bowen with a $2 super chat says, great drama segment about a groomer by a groomer, except I'm not a groomer. That idiocy that people always say about my ex a million years ago is not true. I only met my ex when she was already of legal age, and she messaged me. I didn't ever talk to her ever beforehand. So good luck with your nonsensical stories that you made up because you don't like me. You're an idiot.
I've heard some bullshit in my time, mister, but yours is the best.